sweatshirt version, Chase, but
All right.
it's gonna be warm, so I don't.
I know.
At the
That's why I'm
same
trying to
time,
do the shorts and the bucket hats and fucking
yeah. Ooh, maybe I'll get a bucket hat. I want a bucket hat and shorts. I want the bucket hat shorts.
Dude, I just finished the back of the shorts not long ago. I am so hyped to go paddleboarding at the lake house this summer.
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me at all. You're gonna look like that. You're gonna look like an absolute
Yeah.
goon, except for the short
I'm gonna be wearing oh, dude. And then I can wear pants afterwards when I'm warming up by the fire, dude.
Yeah, I'm
And
stoked,
I'm gonna
dude.
be wearing this shit the whole time because it's fucking awesome, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
This guy really gets me. I can't stop staring at my shirt.
Ah, dude, I
Fucking
was
crazy.
that was in my. I was like, all right, I'm drawing Connor's shirt. I have to draw some sort of fucking powerful
god.
ass sun god. And I was
Yeah.
like, because in my mind I have the idea of what the sun god actually looks like, but I couldn't imagine drawing it. But I can kind of
Yeah.
like sort of get there. I just
I have a
like he's
picture in
just.
my mind too, and
Well, you have the actual picture.
yeah,
I just have the interpretation from empathy standing there.
I think this one's a little nicer, frankly.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, for some reason, well, because you described him, so in my head he's like, yeah, just massive, dark
He was.
figure who's just fucking strong and was just aggressive, and you said there was like infinite amount of them, so.
Yeah, with the wax hands, like going into the,
Oh, yeah.
the house siding.
Yeah, you said wax hands. You also said like an infinite amount of
siding.
house windows and house sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was weird.
Scary. Wow.
Yeah. Scary's right.
Yeah, Harry is right. Oh
Frightening.
lord.
Wonderful. The fucking dark world of psychedelics. Go deep into the hole. Then you come out the other side and then you're like, oh. Alright. What the fuck? And then keeps
You
going.
learn a lot.
You learn a lot, but you also, I don't know, you just keep going.
Most of the learning happens after, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's just an
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going.
Because yeah, you gotta process.
I guess.
You gotta process what the fuck happened.
Yeah, the learning turns out to be very slow.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a process. It's,
I don't know. For me, I guess I'd learn afterwards. But if it's just there's like these moments of just like sudden awareness where something that I've seen my whole life, just I see it in a different perspective, and it's just like, whoa. And then I can always remember that. It's like these crazy, like just snap moments. So I guess there is a lot of learning that happens afterwards.
yeah.
Now that I think about it, but
Those
I
snap
remember
moments
those
are pretty
big moments.
The
You're absolutely right.
epiphanies. The like.
They're
I used
crazy.
to have names for them, like monkey brain. Everyone's god. Fucking another. I don't know. Those are the. There was another. There was a.
specific moments. Okay.
Yeah, specific. Like the one where I'm sitting right where I am, and I look out and I see the street lights, and the street lights connect, and then make a big ball of light, and then it talks to me, and I was like, oh shit, that thing knows everything, and I was like, that's crazy. And then I was like having a conversation, and then I was like, wait, my side of the conversation is the same as that thing's side of the conversation, which means it's all coming from the same place. This is all in my head. No one else is seeing this. This is all in my head. That's God. I'm fucking God. Boom. Everyone's God of their own shit. So I was like, yeah, that's crazy. that was nuts. But I just called that, everyone's God. And then that stuck with me. But it is crazy, because, like, you say that to someone. Like, I talked about this in the other podcast. You say that to someone, and they're like, all right, dude, you just sound.
Well, it depends.
You look
Yeah,
sound
it
the
depends
same.
on the person.
Right. Yeah. If
It
they've
depends
had,
on who you say it to. You say it to a Hindu, and they're gonna be like,
Yeah. They're
"Cool,
like,
you figured it out."
they're like, yeah, dude.
Like, yeah, I
But,
know. They're
but
like,
I'm saying,
yeah, I know.
if no one's, if you haven't had that a similar experience, then you can brush it off pretty easily. It's something that you have to experience in order to even get close to understanding.
I disagree. I heavily disagree.
Okay.
It's actually really interesting that you point that out, Chase, because
Yes, please.
so this is kind of funny. So there's this app. It's called the Waking Up app.
Oh boy.
And there's this guy. There's this. I think he's a neuroscientist. His name is Sam Harris, and he
Oh,
developed.
I know Sam Harris.
Yeah.
Personally, no, I don't. I don't know him personally.
But
I don't know
Cody's,
personally either.
Cody's talked about it. Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool dude. Very into mindfulness and meditation, and working on yourself and being aware of things and conscious and present. Which are all really dope things.
Yes.
And so he developed this app called Waking Up, a very aptly named app, kind of hilarious. And it's free until you get to 2 hours in, and then you have to pay like $100 a year or something.
Jesus.
I think you can email the developer.
$100 a year.
And if you're convincing enough that you're broke enough and you enjoy the app enough, or some combination of those factors, and other stuff, they'll just give you a subscription.
Word.
And so I know this girl at CU who did that, which is pretty cool. But I tried that, and I guess I wasn't convincing enough. They saw through my bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm not subscribed to the app. But one of the first it's like a Q&A basically with Sam Harris, and the question is, can you understand that everything is one? Can you understand that you're not really a self without experiencing, can you understand that the ego doesn't exist, that the ego is an illusion without experiencing it firsthand,
Yes.
through psychedelics or some other means, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
death
I don't
experience.
know the answer.
So, I mean, his answer was yes, absolutely, and I agree. You can understand it, and one of his explanations for it was basically that in your brain, right? If everything that is you, right, is in your brain, your comprehension of it, then you can't possibly be a self in any moment, because at no moment is all of that connected, is all of that firing at once. In no moment is all of that communicating, right? If not all of that is activated at any one moment, then how could this, perception of ego possibly exist? How could that possibly be a thing, right? And I think it's pretty fair,
Yeah.
Just logic.
Well,
logic.
the perception of ego exists, but it's just, does the ego itself exist? Yeah.
Exactly, and it doesn't. It's an
All it is a perception. Yeah. We just perceive me, but
you're selfing. It's a verb. It's not a noun.
yeah, verb. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. That's an Alan Watts thing.
Yeah, yeah.
The planet is peopling, the stars are starring.
Rocks
Right.
are rocking.
Yeah, so you can logic
Rock.
yourself there, but yeah,
Mhm.
or you can just rock
I
your ship
feel like
yourself just to straight.
yeah. Yeah.
It's just the feeling it
I
part.
guess so.
Like
It's hard to be the motivation to get there comes from having that experience for most people. So I feel like it could be possible, but I don't know if they have the right motivations, actually deep down in the heart, to actually see through the veil, of Maya and all this. It was never anything that I once I experienced it, then I looked into it. But before that, I mean, I guess it would have been interesting if someone brought it up to me.
Right.
But I don't know if I would have been interested enough to really dive deep, within my own mind, and actually conjure up.
Have that motivation just intrinsically within yourself. I think most people probably don't.
Yeah.
I think you would have to grow up without all of the pressures that we think of especially in Western society, but even just modern society in general. Like I think you would have to,
There's so many distractions
yeah,
from achieving.
grow up like the pension llama, just like with people choosing you from a young age and then being like, okay, you're this dude, you're gonna nurture this.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like now, I don't know. I've been into this kind of stuff for so long that like it's hard to remember a time when I wasn't, and it slowly shifts the way you think about everything so much that the way you used to think seems like not even alien. Like I can't even remember it. Like I don't even remember how my brain used to think about things.
Yeah.
Now I just have this framework of I don't know, Eastern mysticism that like my brain makes sense of things through now. And I don't know where I was going with that. It's just interesting.
Yeah, because it changes your base. It changes your roots of how you interpret
Mm-hmm.
your perceptions in the world, and that
Yeah,
is everything.
everything.
So
Yeah,
it's just like to me, it's like because children are just constantly finding new ways to connect
Mhm.
the neural pathways. Like they're just like, oh, do I do this or that or this or that, and they just constantly changing. And you get older, it solidifies more. But psychedelics, and I'm sure other things, just like meditation, is another way of just letting your brain be a little more moldable than it usually
Yeah,
is, especially when you get older, because that's when it starts to solidify. But it
yeah.
solidifies for reasons because you learn like social norms, like how to
Send them
act around
the
other people, and you want that to solidify so that you're not just
yeah.
constantly being insane, and like people can
Definitely
understand
makes
you
sense
better, and like
evolutionarily. Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
but it's
But it's
also
hard. It's hard to yeah. I guess not hard, but it's just weird. Most of the time, I still interact with everything like I feel like a normal person, but something that I can do, or like someone can say something, or I can start talking about it, and my mind will shift back into that, I don't know, just contentedness. I don't know what to call it, of just knowing that everything's okay and everything is basically in a harmony because of just the intrinsic oneness of the whole thing. Like there's bad things, there's good things, but that's just on a human level. In the end, it's really so harmonious. It can't be anything but in harmony. It's the yin and the yang, and like most of the time, 99% of every day, I don't feel that, and I know nobody does. We all feel so grasping to things, and it's like, oh my gosh, like this is so important. This is so important. Like, what do I do?
well,
And
that's
then all of a
Very
sudden, like today, I was oming in the shower, and it just like just brings that back all to center. It's just like, oh, it like it's okay, and I just love it.
that's what you said something about the mystic Hinduism where like there's a time period where there's a lot of
Yeah, and we're
things
in the
that
Kali
aren't.
Yuga. Those are kalpas. Yeah, the kalpas.
So like yeah, we're too aware to be like ignorantly happy in just with our existence. Like
Yeah, that would be like the first times.
yeah,
Everything's so
whatever.
ignorant that it's
There's like one
just
level of
blissful
awareness. We are
existence.
this, and that's it. And then
a rock.
we're not aware enough
Like a rock.
we're not aware enough to truly understand that everything's fine. Like constantly, right? We're in the middle where it's like everything's fine. Oh shit, is it? What the fuck's happening? What am I? Why? What? And then
Yeah.
everything's fine. Wait, what? What? And it's like
Yeah, I mean, because if you always realized that everything was fine, there wouldn't be any
yeah,
there wouldn't be any life. There wouldn't be any drama to anything. No
yeah.
things would really happen.
'Cause
That's just when the whole universe restarts. When everything
yeah,
reaches max awareness. That's well,
yeah.
at least that's the thought of it. If we're talking in a Hindu framework, there, it just
There's some
goes.
other frameworks that work with that for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what like Terrence McKenna thinks. The universe is just speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, getting more and more and more and more aware, and then it ends and restarts, or like restarts in a way. Once we reach peak awareness, because if you're just aware of everything, there's no drama, there's nothing interesting, no
Well, it
contrast. We
kind of
need the yang with the yin.
it makes a lot of sense thinking about it just because of like when you're in that when we're like especially humans as a species we're just in this state of chaos trying to figure out all these questions and that chaos just leads to self-destruction inevitably because we just have a lot of tendencies to self-destruct because we're just asking ourselves the questions that are really hard and we don't know yet and we don't it's hard to be okay with not knowing the things is what it is. It's like
Yeah,
it's hard to be okay
that
with not
part
understanding.
that is hard.
Yeah, because
Um,
we're human. So
it's
it's
not
like
impossible.
no, because
I'm pretty
eventually
okay with not knowing a lot of things because I feel like there's a lot of things that we will never ever know.
right. Yeah, you've talked about this
I
in a
just
lot of
don't
different
think
subjects.
that it's possible for some things to be known by us because they are us. Just
And
like
then
you
it's like, what
can't
is us?
bite your own teeth. What's that?
Well, then it's like, what is us? Is that like one
Yeah. Oh
part
yeah, yeah. It depends on my
perspective?
definition of
That
us.
like a collective understanding
Yeah,
of because I think the having a collective understanding of something is a lot you know not a lot more abstract, a lot harder to
hmm
achieve than just one perspective perceiving that it understands something.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, in that sense, I was talking about collective, like a you could call it a human understanding, but just all awareness throughout the whole universe. I don't think it could anything that's aware, anything on like an intelligence level that we have, this I call it awareness 2.0 because like a rock might have awareness 1.0. With all the atoms in the rock, it stays a rock, and when it interacts with something else, like it interacts with a certain kind of thing that erodes the rock, water or
Yeah.
different. It interacts like a rock and it stays a rock, so it knows it's a rock. But we are like an awareness 2.0. We are aware that we're aware. Anything that's on that awareness 2.0, I don't think can ever understand, or any awareness level for that matter, could understand what it truly is. Like, we can point to it and it's like, okay, what we really are is awareness, or is everything, is the universe. But I don't think you can really, really like understand it in the same way where I can understand like what 2 plus 2 is. Like I understand that if I have 2 and 2, I have 4. Because of the way understanding works in a mind, and the mind is what brings about that second level of awareness. I don't think it's possible for a mind to ever understand what that
But
really is, because there's no words for it.
it's observing. So how is it going to
Yeah,
observe?
yeah. You can't observe observing. You can't like bite your own teeth. Like it's. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's incomprehensible. There's no words for it because it is like the wordless thing that's perceiving all the words.
Yeah. You can
But
feel what it feels to observe and what it
you can
feels
feel that.
to be aware of
Yeah,
that, right? But you can't.
and that's what's beautiful is you don't need to understand it. Once you realize that you never will understand it, like, oh, I don't need to understand that because I am that. I can't escape it. There's no time in which I'm not feeling that. That is what I am, and in that, I find a lot of peace.
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 Yeah,
Peace.
peace.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
peace is good.
I don't know.
Cause it's
I like
weird.
that kind of stuff.
I like I like to try and come up with things to help people out or advice or something or just words of that would
Yeah.
open people's perspective, because that's what helped me a lot, was finding other people who, you know, just use language in a way to just help others. It's just a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Just like, cause like
Use
inspiration.
language to point
There's
toward
definitely
truth.
a time in
very
my life where I was like inspirational quotes. I was like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, get the fuck out of here. But then I
Yeah.
slowly was
I
like,
remember that.
yeah. It's like, shut the fuck up. You can't tell. Like, that's why I think of like, yeah, any advice I would try to give, they would make it through my younger self, because my younger self was very stubborn. And
Are you not still? Did that change?
it's a little bit, a little bit. I would like to think I'm more open-minded now than I was when I was 15.
Okay, but you can still be stubborn in a lot of ways. You know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm a stubborn piece of shit, but at least I'm aware that I'm a stubborn piece of shit.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
that helps.
without any stubbornness, you're just a flimsy piece of paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I can never.
You gotta be stubborn on some things.
I can't follow. I can. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard for me to follow or trust something that I don't have a lot of knowledge in or personal experience towards, because it's like, just it eats away at me. It makes me feel lesser, and I want to take ownership of what I'm doing. And like, if I make a mistake or if something turns out well, I want to be able to own that. And I feel like I can't if I'm following and just not like, because when I follow, I ask a lot of questions. And if I'm following you and asking you a lot of questions and you get mad about that, it's not going to work out, because
That's most people.
yeah, it's most people. It's how society works, because we've got this fucking well-oiled machine
Yeah.
that doesn't like being asked questions. And
No, it likes disciplining. This is like a very Foucault idea
yeah,
of like society disciplining, individuals, and then individuals disciplining themselves because they believe that, they have this image of what society wants them to be and
right.
how they can contribute
Oh, yeah.
to society. And I fell victim to this like for like the whole first part of my life. And it was kind of funny because I blamed a lot of it on my mom, and that was just like not her fault. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like you're doing this. It's like, no. I was doing this to myself. I had these ideas that I needed to, discipline myself in all these little ways. And that's just, all those expectations and things. And really, that's your idea of what, the external is asking of you. And you're not asking yourself, what am I asking of myself?
Yeah.
And so most people end up going their whole lives, disciplining themselves in this idea of whatever they think they should be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, luckily, less and less people are doing, like, as time goes on. Getting
True.
every generation gets a little bit better at just like self-awareness, just being a little bit cooler.
It's
In a
pretty
way.
quick, honestly.
It's
It's
accelerating.
exponential, I think. Yeah, I think it's exponential. There's little
accelerating.
pockets of it throughout history, but
Yeah.
these last 100 years have been really, really key.
I
You
would
look
say,
100 years ago, those generations.
like, and then the internet, you throw
Yeah.
that in
Oh.
there, and then it's just like,
The freedom
So
of
fast.
information, baby. But
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean, you look
what's-
at the difference between
Oh,
boomers
almost.
and Gen X.
yeah, oh yeah,
Gen Z.
almost. Yeah, we're not. There's a lot to go, which is cool, because that leaves room for living. That doesn't mean the reset is close, because there's lots we had to do to get there. Like, yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
it could be accelerating faster than we realize. Who knows?
oh, absolutely. Having an awareness of that is
Yeah,
something. That's
it's going so fast. All you gotta do is just remember 10 years ago how different everything was on like a societal level. Like
and
10 years ago, and well, on an individual level for sure.
I was
And I always
9
feel like I
years
want
old,
to
dude. I
chalk
don't
that
know
up
what's going on.
to. Yeah, I just want to chalk that up to just being younger. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
kids have a pretty once you can really remember things, once you feel like you
Yeah.
have a pretty good ability to observe, like I feel like that's it's not something. I think a lot of people see that, chalk that up to, oh, like I was a kid, whatever. And they don't give themselves
Yeah.
credit, for really
Right.
being able
When
to.
I was that kid, I felt like I knew exactly what was going on. So
Yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah, fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I don't know. It's interesting. Memories, having different perspectives now and remembering. I mean, yeah, 10 years, that's a long time. Oh my God.
Yeah, it really is. Even 5, even 4, 3,
And
One.
yet it still feels pretty similar, actually. I'm thinking back, and there's so much that's different. There's a lot that feels very similar as well. I don't know, probably more different than similar, actually. Now, I was thinking about it yesterday, actually. Just the way that I see things with my eyes almost feels different, or the way that I perceive things or like taste food. I don't know. It's maybe just like an
No,
overall,
I agree. I agree.
like a mood that carries on just over long periods of time. It give different moods throughout the day, but there's like an overall feeling of like different periods of your life, and it makes your senses feel different. Like I
That's why.
remember seeing an autumn day back when I was like 15, and then I see that same, and I'm experiencing it differently.
And all these things
I'm
are why I
smelling
like.
more and seeing more.
There's
It's crazy.
the island life. The motto is take it slow, take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I just love it because yeah, it's everything's moving so fast, and especially in Western society and our culture, and even just the United States itself. It's like there's so many distractions, and everything's moving so fast that it's really hard to appreciate where you are right now. And the thing about that is that you constantly like you're gaining the now, but you're also losing the now, and that's why like it's hard to look at the past and be like, hey, you look at the past, you're like, man, I just wish those are the good old days. Why am I not there? Like, what? You're in it right now, and it's gonna. You're right now. It's the good old days, man. Like that's it. Right now. Right
That's something
now.
that
Right.
old people in
now.
movies realize. They're like, I would have wished I was in the good old days
Yeah.
when I was in them. And it's like, that's because they're old. The good old days are whenever.
You
It's just
perceive it
whenever.
as being the good old days. That's wherever your
Yeah.
perception is.
Yeah. But it's so crazy
Yeah.
because
If you grow up old and grumpy, and then you're old and grumpy, of course that's not going to feel like the good old days. It's going to feel like the old grumpy days because you're old and grumpy.
yeah. But if
Yeah.
you're not
Exactly.
appreciating what's happening to you right now, then you're gonna feel like you missed out when the future comes around and you're looking back. You look back and go, shit, I didn't appreciate that version of myself because you're just constantly changing and things are changing around you. So it's just like the more you take in right now, the better you'll feel later on. Right?
Yeah.
Like
Just take some time to go slow. You don't have to go
just
slow
take it
every day.
Slow.
Just go a little slow sometimes.
Or at
Just
least
Pays off.
appreciate the speed and appreciate.
Yeah, or at least
Yeah.
appreciate what's going on. Yeah.
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 Because it's true. Like you want to. I don't remember. I found this quote, but it was like just like give me a moment. I like need to spend time to like appreciate myself right now because I'm gonna lose that. And I'm gonna move on. But at least I can appreciate it right now, and then I'll be a different person tomorrow, and a different person the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I'll keep appreciating those versions of me because they're all important to me because it's my life.
It's not easy though.
No, of course not. Anything easy is just not fucking worth it.
Not worth
Wow.
doing. Yeah. Easy things are not worth doing.
Yeah.
Meditation seems like it'd be the easiest thing ever. Oh, you just sit there. But to remember to do it, like, and actually,
Just
I don't know,
action.
I don't think you actually even have to physically sit down on the floor or anything and like do
Chase
like-
has a good perspective on this.
just live meditation. Like all meditation is what you're talking about. Just the appreciation of the moment. And your whole life can be that. You don't have to sit down and just like I don't actually physically like sit in a crisscross position and meditate all the most of the time. I don't feel the need to do that. But I feel like I'm proud of how much I'm taking in every day and stepping back and smelling the flowers. They smell the coffee in the morning. Like I literally feel so much better than when I was a teenager because of that. Because when I was a teenager, it just
No,
it all
great.
just goes
For me,
so.
I didn't have like any appreciation for stuff.
No, me neither. No, it was just going. And then now, oh my God, it's just like you can appreciate the bad things. Like, thank you for letting me experience this negative moment. Like, because I don't know, just gratitude. You don't even have to try and be gracious. Just if you're appreciating things, the gratitude comes, and it just makes your whole life just feel better. Just
Yeah,
everything about it.
like the fact that you don't. I do very rarely sit down and close my eyes in silence and
Yeah.
meditate, and that's
Not
because
bad though.
not bad because literally I think any time that you're breathing is an opportunity for you to be meditating, and that's the thing is you're
Yeah.
fucking always breathing, sir. So
Sir?
you got lots of opportunities, and my favorites
on,
are
sir.
like sitting in the hot tub. I sit in the hot tub and I feel like I'm in the womb of the universe, and
Yeah. Hot
it
tub.
clears my mind, and I can think, thinking clearly, like thinking of your mind as a river, and when there's turbulence, you can't see through it, and when it's calm, you see right through. It's crystal clear, and you can it just feels so nice to be able to have that, especially when you have a tendency to overthink or a tendency to have lots of turbulence in your mind, which I think a lot of people do.
Intrusive, rapids of thoughts.
Yeah, because you need to understand that those aren't you. Like, you need to understand that those intrusive thoughts and those distractions and crazy shit firing off in your brain are just things firing in your brain, and you can step outside of that and make decisions, which is awesome and sick.
Yeah.
And
How could they be your thoughts? You didn't invent the language.
Yeah.
Nobody
You didn't piece together your brain.
You didn't.
You didn't.
No.
You didn't.
They're
you
not
didn't-
your thoughts. They're just
Through it
thoughts.
over time, and we all
Yeah.
have. This is another actually interesting thing. I was talking to this really cool woman named Diane Sieber, who like basically started.
Diane's my favorite name. Diane or Diana.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
I think it's a great name. Well, Sam is actually my number one favorite name. I like
Yeah.
Diane.
Yeah. So
Sorry to
Diane-
interrupt.
no, you're good. She kind of started this Atlas Institute thing at CU Boulder, and it's like this interdisciplinary institute. Arts, physical sciences, applied sciences, engineering. Very interesting. And this is a person who's like focused like basically her whole career on like Don Quixote and literature, especially in like this colonial period of the Spanish conquest of the United States and things like that. And we were talking about some very interesting things. I was talking about this woman, Doreen Kondo, her work in Japan, where basically, so she's a Japanese American who like has a good grasp of not only the language of Japanese, but of the culture and the people, but not she wasn't raised fully in Japan. She hasn't lived her whole life in Japan. She spent most of her life in the States. And so when she went to Japan to do this ethnographical research where she's like, living in with this family, and stuff, she started to have this like really, really crazy identity split crisis like happen with her, where she didn't feel like she was American and she didn't feel like she was Japanese, and she was freaking out. Because like Japanese people would sometimes treat her as Japanese and they would sometimes treat her as American, and she didn't know what she was, and it was a big problem, such a big problem that she had to go home. And I think that, that's a really good example. And I was talking to Diane Sieber about this because she was born in Spain. Spanish was her first language, grew up there for a little while, and then moved to the United States. And I was asking, I was looking at it from a very, very dualistic perspective of like, okay, you have these two identities, and that's crazy because most people I think feel like they have one identity,
Right.
or at least a lot, probably the vast majority of people feel that way.
Yeah.
But then she was bringing up this point. Oh, well, oh, what's culture? What culture is she fitting into? What culture is she imagining? She's fitting into in the United States. What culture is she imagining herself fitting into or perceiving herself fitting into in Japan? And I was like, oh, and this is like anthropology club, so it's a bunch of people stuff. So we're all like, ooh, what is culture? You're asking anthropology club, ooh,
Yeah.
and my answer, basically, my response was basically that, you know, yeah, good point. There's a lot more diversity there. And then she kind of retorted with this, oh, well, we all have our own cultures. We all have our own grammar. We all have our own little, tweaks to these
Little
things. We're all
quirks.
perceiving things from this very, very, very individual perspective, which is one of the beautiful things about being, human and having that
Yeah.
vast difference, between people. And really, we're just imagining those cultures, or those perception of cultures that we're, fitting into, just as much as we're imagining, our ego or our self, right? It's
Yeah.
all very abstract, if you try to
Yeah.
pinpoint that culture, it doesn't really work.
There was
So I think that
Right.
a
that
great
totally
quote
ties into that.
great quote where it was like, if I could go back to my past and change something, I would change how I viewed my flaws, because now I understand that all of my flaws are just imaginary things. Like, what's a flaw? What's a difference between the norm? Where's the norm? What the fuck is a norm? Like, you just understand that it's just fluff. It doesn't exist. Flaws? What the fuck is a
Yeah.
flaw? You're existing. You're doing everything the universe wants you to right now. You're breathing, and you're moving along the timeline, and you're in a space. Fucking, you're doing good. And
You are
doing it.
you're in space, and you're going through time. That's all you need to do. Your
Space
idea
time.
of you doing something wrong or not right or not as good as it could be, all these things are just fucking
Ephemeral.
fluff. It's all just poof. It could go away. It could change. It could go blah blah blah. It doesn't. It's bleh. What is that? There's a French word for the bleh. I don't know what it is, but it's just.
You want me to say "pom pom pom"? Is that what you want?
I don't
Je ne
know.
sais quoi? Je ne sais quoi? Is that what like the? I mean, that's more of like the essence of like the I don't know, like
It's
the I
a
can't
quote.
explain it.
It's a quote in Wolf of Wall Street. Um. Uh. Um. Matthew McConaughey's character says something about. He says
This
some
character's
French.
cool.
He says some French word. That movie's fucking insane. I love it. The
Yeah,
fucking
does he
lewds,
go-
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's cool is that, yeah, it's good to realize all of that on. A lot of what I see is on. There's just different levels to things. And I guess you could think of them as levels or whatever you want to think of them as. On one level, it is all fluff and it's all imaginary. But on another level, the everyday person level, it's all very real and it affects all of the things on that level.
Yeah, the
Um,
levels are important when you're giving advice and talking about things, because it
It,
changes
it is
so much.
because not everyone has seen those other levels. So if you're saying all that and they don't understand that you're saying, oh, it's on this level, then that's when people get into like Taoism and Buddhism and that and get like hedonistic or nihilistic because they're not seeing that it's all on a different level. Because on that human level, all the things that we imagine are very real. Our egos come into play all the time. Our culture comes into play all the time. On the bigger picture level, it doesn't. It is that fluff. It doesn't actually exist. But on an everyday person level, it is what exists, and it can be very important. And so it's cool to be a viewer of both levels.
Because there's always a
Multiple
reason.
levels.
There's always a reason as to why you're feeling the way you're feeling. It's not because even fluff and imaginary things are as real as
Mhm.
anything else. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is just
Mhm.
because it's a thought and not tangible, it's still a thing, and all the
It's still,
things
yeah.
are together. It's like
My ego still, I still
the ego.
make
Yeah,
decisions,
the
even though
ego's.
I'm imagining myself as me. Like, unless I'm oming at that moment, or like have just like brought myself into a cosmic consciousness mode of thinking, I'm gonna be tempted by tons of different things. I'm gonna be eating sugary foods. I'm gonna be doing the dance of whatever's going on. And so I just wanted to put that note in there. It's on a different level. On some levels, it is just that fluff, but on some levels, it's very, very real. And it's important to see the distinction, and that's where the good from that can come from, is seeing that, yeah, on a bigger picture level, like, it's gonna be okay. It is a okay. On a personal level, maybe it's not okay right now, but there's no need to worry about it. You can only do what you can do right at this moment. If there's something bad that's going on and you're worried about it, either do something towards fixing it or don't worry about it. And that's obviously easier said than done. That's
Yeah.
just what I try and tell myself, is like, if I'm worrying about something, it's like, oh, well, I can't actually do anything about it right now, or, oh no, I can do something about this right now. I'm going to do that. And there's no need for the worry in between, because you're just thinking about what you could do. Either do it or don't do
I think as long as you, think as long as you have the idea that you might be able to change something, it's
it.
always
Mm-hmm.
gonna bother you. Like
It's intrusive. Yeah, it'll
it's
just come
always
in.
gonna be like, I, I have this problem even though it's outside of me, but I might be able to do something to then alter it, like climate
Well,
change.
that's the thing. You can think that you might be able to do something, and then that could be it. And then when it comes, you'll thought, okay, and then you'll know that it's possible. Problem that people have is that they think they can think their way through it by just thinking about it enough. If I just sit here and worry and wallow long enough, I will think my way out of this problem. They don't consciously think that, but subconsciously, you're just laying there, or sitting there, or walking there, doing what you're doing, worrying yourself sick because you feel like you can just think your way out of the.
And it's funny because eventually you will, in the sense that you won't be able to take it anymore. And then
Yeah,
you'll realize that's not how to do it.
exactly. And then you'll actually physically do something. Yeah.
Yeah. So you end up doing it anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
This is time.
So I mean,
Time just goes by.
yeah, people can worry all they
Eventually.
want. I just don't like to worry. So I have that little saying in the back of my mind: when I start worrying, I'm either going to do something about it right now if I can, or I'm going to, if it is something that I can almost, I can, like, oh, I'm really thinking I can think my way out of it, I'll put down a list of things, and like, just always have an action that you can do. Like, just physically even writing down what you're thinking, or typing it, telling someone about it, just that actual action that you're doing just brings it forth into reality so much more that it ceases to become a worry, and it's just like a problem to overcome, I guess. But yeah, that is what happens. You literally you can just worry forever, and then eventually you'll just be completely sick of it. And I've done that a lot. Just worrying, 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 and then it's like, oh my gosh, like, the day is here. It's happening. And all I've done is worry about it. I haven't actually trained myself or gotten ready or done anything. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that just gets me into the meditation thing. I like active meditation because it's hard for me to sit still. Even though we talked about you want to do hard things, it's still okay to be comfortable. Do the things that because you learn about yourself and you find what makes you comfortable. And as a human, it's like it's okay to do the things that are comfortable. It's just as long as you then challenge yourself. Everyone just periodically challenge yourself so that you grow.
Yeah, you just want to be comfortable all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to be comfortable all the time because then you don't
Some
grow.
people do.
They want to be. Want. And then
Yeah,
they
think
do
they
it.
want to be.
And then
They want-
Then they're like, why am I not happy? What have I
Yeah.
done?
Wait.
Why do I feel so
Why is everything the same? Why am I not moving forward?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's because I
Ah.
see everything else around me improving except for me. Like, I'm, like, because then if you have that thought, if you're like, dude, I'm the same piece of shit as I was 5 years ago, except everything else around me is going up. Like,
That's hard.
You're
That's
gonna-
hard to deal with. The longer
Yeah.
that goes on,
yeah, the longer it goes on.
that's hard.
But then, the other side of that is if you are growing with time around you, oh man, that's beautiful. And that's only happened for me recently. It's been a lot
I'm
of
somewhere in the
times-
middle. I feel like there's days where I'm not growing, and there's days where I grow a lot. And I think that's most people. Well, I don't know. I think most people probably. This is a tricky thing. I feel like a lot of people don't grow that much because they're not thinking about it. I don't know. I'm just cynical about the whole way that the American society specifically works, where it makes me feel like most of the people that I meet out the street aren't actively trying to get better as much as possible. They're just
Yeah.
doing the consuming thing. Let's just make money, consume, make money, consume, make money, consume. My friend's dad was just so adamant that that is the key to life. That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just
It's the key.
make money and do fun things, and that's it. That's what you're supposed to do. And my friend, obviously, he's like, Dad, like, I can't even explain to you, like, what? Like, just completely speechless. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the not
So
understanding.
I feel proud that I think I at least am growing more than that.
That's what-
I think. I
yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You're already, you're already there. He's just the not understanding fulfillment is tough for me. I mean, not for me personally. I feel like I have a decent grasp of it now, but just being around people who don't understand that and just want the pleasure now and for the foreseeable future just think that that's forever going to be the thing. Like, yeah, because yes, it's awesome to party and it's awesome to have a great time right now, and that's what, like, people, when you say live in the now, they're like, yeah, get drunk and party because then it feels good. Guess what happens next morning?
You can't even.
It's gonna be now the next morning, and you're not gonna be feeling good.
Yeah,
because it's always now.
because right
So planning
now,
for the future is perfectly being in the now.
yeah,
There's no
because
problem with planning
because
for the
Imagine that.
future.
Future and the now are connected. Gee.
gee, who would have
Gee,
thought
who would've
that
thought?
you can predict things and that your mind is a little more complex than, like,
Yeah, even if you're not
da-
predicting it, just set forth things like, if I didn't work out today, tomorrow I would be weaker. You know, so like I work out today, so that tomorrow I'm a little bit stronger because tomorrow is gonna be now, and I want to be strong now. So
Yeah.
you don't even have to predict what's gonna happen. I don't know how strong I'm gonna be. I don't even know if I'm gonna live tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think prediction is just kind of a slippery slope, but it is good that we can predict. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just,
Not to downplay
it's just
prediction.
taking away
there are
awareness.
causal relationships that are helpful that you can understand and you can apply.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't mean that it's going to work out, you know, exactly how
No,
you think
yeah.
every single time, right? But at least like there's some connection there.
Yeah, that's why.
And
Yeah,
we are smart enough to know a lot of things.
yeah. You don't want to, cause like
Science
it's like
is good.
when you travel, like you don't want to plan too much, but you don't want to have
Right.
no
No.
plan.
No plan.
You want to have a loose structure that allows for that nuance and allows for you to go,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's cool, or this is cool, or I heard this guy, or I talked to this guy and he said this is cool, so maybe I should, you know, because then
Yeah.
Because you just have something to base it off of, and it just helps everything. But it's always a balance. So, and it's different for every person. So, depends on who you are, and that's what always helped me is just understanding yourself better. And once you start understanding yourself better, then
Yeah.
you can balance things a lot easier because
Oh yeah.
you can understand where you are comparatively, and our brains are really good at that. Our brains are really good at comparing ourselves to others and other than the outside and patterns. So if you use that, you use your abilities to do those things, then you can just become better at balancing stuff like that, and you're a lot more at peace when you can balance.
Yeah. A lot more at peace,
Mm.
which is important.
Which is what we all
And
want at
it's
the end of the day, even if you don't think it. You just
I
want to
can't
be
think
at
of
peace, right?
yeah,
You
exactly.
just,
Contentedness, fulfillment, happiness, joy.
yeah.
It's,
Even if it's
it's all
moving, even if it's doing a lot of crazy stuff, at the end of the day, while you're doing that, you want to be able to appreciate it and be in peace in your own mind the whole time.
oh yeah.
And
I feel very at peace when I'm moving very fast down a mountain on a board. Like there's a lot going on and it's intense,
yeah,
but I feel very peaceful
yeah.
inside.
I 100% relate to that. Exactly.
Dude.
We all
Scenario.
bored.
We
We all
all
Oh,
bored.
yeah.
actually totally get
All
that.
three of us bored.
Yeah.
So
I wrote my essay to get into Boulder about that.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Heck
yeah, and I got in. So imagine that. That was nice. So
yeah.
I was gonna bring this up a little bit earlier. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's the detachment of the physical movement from the piece, right? You don't have to like the physical movement is you don't have to be physically still to have to
Yeah.
feel still in your mind, right? Like that
yes.
river that Chase is talking about, right? Can be super super clear, and that's totally irrespective to what your physical body is doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I
Oh
am
yeah.
dancing, my water is calm and clear. Even though I'm
Yeah.
fucking
Oh
wilding
yeah.
out, my water is very clear. And that just, I don't know, yeah, cause we're, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess it could work for some people. It's just better for them to sit still, but for me,
The more you do it, the more you'll get it even when you're not sitting still. It's like a muscle.
that is
So I
true.
think that's how you start.
Because it's
I think it
breathing.
always can come into your whole life. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
breathing
At the
and
end of the day,
just
it's just
being
breathing.
aware, which are two things that you can't stop doing. You're never not aware, and you're never not breathing.
So why not be super aware of the breathing?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's crazy.
yeah.
But that's
I've
just
been
what.
at parties, like loud music, people going around, and then someone will say something about something, and it almost is like a drug goes off in my brain or something, and I'm just like instantly I'm like, what is whoa? And then I can almost everything like dulls, and then I'm like, oh no, okay, I'm just partying right now. Let's go back to that. And it just all comes back. It's crazy. I don't know if that made any sense, but
Yeah.
I just remember moments, just like
sense
someone
of,
will say something, and I'm just like, oh, like just for like a split second, I just feel like not like out of body, but just like so aware, but not in an overwhelming sense. It's just like, oh yeah, this is okay, and then I just go right back to doing whatever I'm doing, and that just comes from practicing so much, just breathing, just actually sitting down back years and years ago, actually sitting down and meditating every day. You don't need that once you're just actually being
Yeah.
aware.
because I definitely did that early on.
Mm-hmm.
Just did a lot more sitting still in order to get to some sort of clarity, because I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able, that's true. I wouldn't be able to do it as well. Although, like, I've always kind
It's a
of been
good
able
way.
to do it,
It's
like
a very good
sports.
way to. Right. That's like the
Yeah.
flow state and everything
Yeah.
just kind of locks you in, like psychedelics, like those kind of
Mm.
things can fast track you to the present moment, I guess, if you want to just
Yeah.
being
And then
present. Drawing,
drawing,
art,
just turned my
playing
brain
music,
off.
singing, dancing.
It blew my mind at
Yeah.
Evergreen because
Boarding.
like this is one particular day where I was just drawing in my notebook like I did every day, and I was just like, just sick of it. I was like, dude, I'm drawing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I told someone that, and they were like, dude, these are all different. Like, and these are what the fuck is wrong with? What are you talking about? Like, these are not. Do you know what you're doing? I was like, no. I don't know. No. And then it was just like, and then they were just like, I could never do this. And in my mind, I was like, why? Like, why can't people just draw the things in their mind that are coming to them? And I was like, because like when I start drawing on a piece of paper, I just have the idea to fill it in a certain way, and just it doesn't happen for everyone. It doesn't happen like that. But that's what's cool. Because
It's just what you're interested in.
we all have
Some people
these-
aren't interested in it.
Right. But we all have these gifts that are just given to us, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why or how or but it's still a gift at the end of the day because I didn't do anything to deserve it. I just got it. Like my life. Like there's so many things that life just gives you, and it's just the only way to perceive it for me is it being a gift because it's temporary. And since it's temporary, it literally can't be negative. It's just a thing that I can do whatever I want with, and I just choose to try and use it to help myself and everyone else around me, because at the end of the day that's what makes me happy. So I'm just trying to find peace. That's it. It's just just a gift. But
It'd be great if the whole world was just doing that.
yeah.
So that nobody was fighting in wars or
So I think a lot of people take what happens to them in their lives and what they've been given, and they think life is just against me. Life is throwing
blame
me
others.
shit
All
hand.
on the outside.
Life
It's
is
not
giving me
me.
a shit hand. I can't do anything with this and that, and it's just the negativity from something
How
you
could
did
this
nothing
happen?
for. You've done nothing to deserve the things life is giving to you, yet you have it. How can that? And it won't last. It'll end, like everything else. So how can that not be a gift? How can that be? I don't know. How
It is
can
a gift. It's the ultimate gift, the divine gift, if you
Yeah.
want, if you may.
Because that's what like hell. It's like heaven is on earth, but some perceive like their life to be like hell, right? Like because I think they just fixate on just these certain things that have happened to them, or that they just think was not their fault, and it's fucked up. And a lot of times it is. A lot of things happen to a lot of people is really fucked up,
And it sucks.
and it
Yeah.
sucks. It really sucks, and I'm super lucky that I have a really blessed life compared to a lot of other people. But
Relatable.
it's all about perspective too. Like, yeah, I have a lot of awesome stuff, and then from a lot of ways it seems very easy. But on the other hand, I understand that I've gone through some really hard things and difficult things to me. Maybe not to other people. Maybe those things that happened to me aren't difficult for other people, but they were difficult for me.
It's all about getting through your own struggles, and yeah, you can be unfortunate, and those could be way out of any of our three
Yeah.
people born in just abject poverty or without legs. But
Yeah.
it's cool. You see those people. There's people that come through it, and they're super content
Yeah.
because
a lot of times having
they
less
went through those hurdles and they conquered it.
because having less in and of itself can be a gift in that you are less
Oh, yeah.
likely to be trapped in possessions. Like
Mhm.
it's so crazy to think about. I always think about this kid in Nepal who had no legs and has a skateboard. and would ride on his with his arms and would just mob for money, just little bits of money here and there. And I just thought, like, just seeing him, I was just like I was just blown away that he had as much energy and had the tenacity to keep going. Like fuck. Like
Yeah.
I am to him I am just so beyond privileged and lucky to have all the things that I do.
Hmm.
Because if he could
He
teleport
can think
to
that
my
about
body,
himself too.
I think he does because he was happy. He has had a smile on his face. He was because he doesn't have the, I don't know, it just seemed to me like he was free. Like he had this freedom about him that I didn't have in that moment. Like I was looking around and like, yeah, I was very appreciative. I was very appreciative of being there and being able to observe all these things, and I was very curious. But I didn't have the freedom that that kid had in that moment. Like it
Yeah.
just seemed like yeah, I don't know. Freedom is the best word I can describe it. I felt like in that time in my life when I was younger, I felt entrapped. I felt like, fuck, why did I have all these? Now I have to deal with all these things. Why?
Yeah.
Why, God,
Oh, yeah.
why? Right? Like, why
Yeah.
do I have to be, yeah, just entrapped by possessions and responsibilities and why couldn't I just do my own thing? I didn't ask to be alive. Why the fuck why am I
Yeah.
here?
One.
And it's true. I don't know why. But I am here. I got the gift. And it's certainly a gift. So I'm going to use it the best I can and enjoy the ride because it will end. And that's what makes it beautiful.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Just be appreciative of your gift out there, people.
Yeah. Of all of them. And they're constantly getting more, and just the fact that life is
Or don't.
has so much nuance. Yeah, you can. What's the thing is,
Be greedy.
you can be
Be
upset.
greedy.
Crap on it all you want.
You could be sad or upset or angry at the things that you've been given, and that is perfectly fine and natural. And you just gotta take it face on and go through it, because on the other side, I can pretty much guarantee you're gonna look back and be like, like it's okay. Like,
That itself was a gift.
and I'm glad that I went through, because yeah, if you get something like a
Contrast.
shitty hand dealt to you, if you get through it onto the other side and improve yourself as a person and can look back and say, I did the best that I can and I used what I was given to the best of my ability, you will never feel bad about yourself if you can truly say that. Like, you'll feel good. And that's what you want, right? You want to feel good. So use what you have to the best of your abilities, whatever that is to you, right? Like, and that's a lot of pressure, right? Do the best. But a lot of times,
Yeah.
Be anything. The best can be
The
anything.
best could be anything. Yeah.
exactly.
When I think
And
about
it
doing the
constantly
best that I can
changes.
do, I just try and do what I can. That is my best.
Right.
Not
do
have
what I
expectations
can.
for that, and develop those.
Yeah.
Create these ideas of things that need to happen, or else you're not worthy or whatever. 'Cause
Yeah. That's where a lot of depression comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like
It's nice
I
to
said
just
earlier,
every
like
day.
just existing on that space-time continuum, whatever you want to call it, that line where you're in space and you're going through time, to the universe, you are doing your job. To you, you might
Yeah.
not be, and that's cool too, because that's another level, right? The biggest level, you're just existing.
If you know you're
But
not doing what you need to be doing,
yeah, but
do
on a
it.
societal level, on a human level, like just on like a personal level, like there's just so many things. Like, I want to do art and get better at art, but to the universe, it doesn't give a shit about that. society might not even really care. But on a personal level, I just like to be improving, knowing that I'm a temporary human being. I like to know that I'm trying my best to get better every day at doing what I'm doing what I'm passionate about, doing what I think life has given me gifts to be able to do. I try my best, and I think I can say that. And I haven't always been able to say that. That's the thing, and it'll change too. I mean, there's always new
I
challenges.
don't know if anyone's not ever trying your best. I mean, because even if you fall into like pitfalls of like getting distracted or like, I don't know, you get addicted to something, you're doing what you can, and maybe your best just wasn't good enough right then.
This is the intentions, right?
I don't know.
Perception.
It's the intentions, I guess.
Right?
It is, yeah.
Like, okay, then in every moment, sure. And then you're doing what you can, or you're doing what you think you can, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
But your intentions change, and that's what I think is important.
But your intentions,
I was
are
doing the best I could early in my life for an intention that I currently don't think was the right intention, and now that intention's changed, and now I feel like I'm doing my best. Like I was doing my, like I don't know, yeah.
Yeah,
think intentions
I
is a very
almost
important
never
thing.
feel like I'm doing my best, but I feel like I'm aiming towards it as much as possible.
Right.
But I think it's just having different definitions of best. That's just a semantics thing.
Yeah,
like,
because there's always a thought in the back of my head that I could be doing more, right? And that's kind of like
and
anxiety,
that's where
kind of like
you strive for improvement. Yeah, that's where that
overthinking,
feeling comes from. It's
right.
like, like I could be doing this or this, and it's like, I don't know, if I felt like I was already doing my best, then my best would kind of suck because I wouldn't be doing better than yesterday. I don't know. That's just gets into semantics. It's just my definition of best can be very different from someone else's.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't know if I can, I don't know, reach my full potential or whatever, other than just trying to do the important things to me every day, like the things that are important and difficult to do. And I don't always succeed at doing that, but I do succeed at it more and more, I guess. But there's still lots of periods of not succeeding.
Yeah, because it's always
So I
a
guess
roller coaster.
that's pretty much doing my best.
Consistent improvement, over time.
Yeah. So I guess, that's how I see me doing my best. It's just, if I can just improve at improving, then I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, growth isn't static. Like
no,
because
and you never know, like, because I don't know I don't know what my best is. Maybe I'll go on to be a Hollywood producer and just make awesome documentaries, or maybe I'll just have a small YouTube channel and barely have enough money to eat. I don't know which one is my best, but
because that Hollywood version of you,
I'm gonna do whatever we want.
You might have, say, those two versions of you. If you have a family in both, the Hollywood version of you might be an asshole. It might be a terrible father. You might.
Yeah, who says that that's the best? Yeah, I don't know.
And then the other side, you might, professionally not be doing as well, but you're loving and attentive and caring to those around you, and you mean more. You do more just kind and thoughtful things to those around you, and that spreads, and then those people around you are doing more successful, and so at the end of the day, you're actually doing more than that other version, because
that's why either one could be the best, because you could still be doing that as a Hollywood dude. Well, maybe not in, I don't know. Hollywood's pretty.
It's not even on you. At the end of the day, like that.
Yeah.
That success, is external. That comes from the external.
Right.
That's not, you're not. Right. You're at the end of the day, you're not the one generating. Like, yeah, sure, you're doing your content, whatever, you're doing your thing, but other people are appreciating it, or they're not, and that's not you, right? And so that success, I feel like, has got to be internal and based on like
Yeah.
actual interactions, like Chase was talking about, like actually caring about people and people caring about you and being
Yeah.
attentive, caring and kind, and
That is
meaning
that's
something
what I
to other
value in
people, right?
success.
Because you're at the end of the day, even if you're creating this wonderful content, like you're not, meaning something personally as a human, as an individual, to those people, unless they're, imparting that on themselves or whatever, creating that idea in their head. And then again, that's external. That's not on you. So
Yeah, because it's funny, because
Yeah,
some,
that makes sense. True success is just. Oh, sorry.
I just feel like a lot of people, in terms of
yes,
art
that was.
and artists, and like when they look at art and artists, and like they're just like, you're not successful unless you're making X amount of dollars, or you have X amount of views, or like it's all about this weird following, or like it's just so. And then and it's like you're not doing anything until you get there. It's like, what? How do you build that? Like, you're doing art the whole time. Like,
She did not have an Instagram.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, it's so.
I try to stay away from those thoughts. That's why I'm not on Instagram, not like very often, except for you do want to make a living doing what you love. So you gotta promote it. You don't want to get into that toxicity. It's all about the balance.
Security
I
and
feel
independence.
successful if I wake up in the morning and make coffee. Like, just depends on the different morning, but like before a certain time, it's like, oh, okay, I was successful. I got up, I physically got out of bed, made some coffee, and I'm now up. Like, that is a little success. And then I got out my drawing pad and I started drawing something. That is a success. Like, all those little, they just add up. And so, I just feel successful.
I feel like a lot
even
of
though
kids...
I don't make barely any money at all, I feel successful. But another kind of success is getting that message as far out to the world as possible. So when I'm thinking of like becoming like a Hollywood director, or just a very well-known content creator, I just want people to feel the same good feelings that I'm feeling. So I just want to spread it to as many people as possible. Because I'm not going to use a lot of my money anyways. I plan on, if I do make a lot of money, giving it to like water and food for people that need it. Because I can get the stuff I need for pretty cheap. I don't live very expensively, and it's been fine so far. So that's not the kind of success when I'm thinking like, oh, Hollywood director. Although, I don't know. I could change. I could turn into a crazy asshole.
I feel like it puts a lot of upcoming artists off, because I see it a lot, especially, because I work with musicians. Musicians, like,
all the time.
If you're making music to get fucking
famous,
get
clout,
bitches and clout and fucking money and views, and that's the only reason, you ain't going nowhere, son.
You're not actually making music.
It's not worth it. It's not worth your time if that's what your goal and intention is through art, because it's not what it is, and that's not gonna, like, you could get there, but it's not gonna last.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's artists that I know that have got.
You say DaBaby?
That's their motivation.
DaBaby, bands.
Yeah, people like DaBaby, exactly.
Contrast.
But I don't know how fulfilled
contrast, because if you don't have DaBaby, then I can't point to DaBaby and be like, "What a fucking joke," right? And like laugh at it, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Oprah's bank account.
Man is on a hustle.
Oh my god, Lil Yachty interviews. There's a scene where Lil Yachty interviews. Well, first of all, Drake, because he's in the first part of the song, and then the second part of the song. I've seen this music video. I got it probably like over half a dozen times.
It is. I loved it. Yeah.
He gets to the end and he interviews DaBaby, and he's like, "So some people would say that your music sounds like one continuous song. Like you make a song, you make an album, you make a discography, and it's all the same song. What do you have to say about that? And his response is basically like, that one song is platinum. Bands, bands, bands.
Oh,
It is hilarious.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
mind-numbingly hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, go to the bank, and because your bitch love money, and I'm gonna fuck your bitch on the way to the bank, and then maybe I'm gonna have to, go to your bitch's house, and then I'm gonna have to go back to the bank to get some more money because your bitch love money, and it's like
How
it's
do you
incredible,
argue with that?
and it's true. It all sounds like one dumb song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
And it makes a lot of money.
It makes a lot of money, and so many
But is
people
he
just like,
fulfilled?
and they just eat it up like fucking candy. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Like, and,
Oh, yeah.
and it all goes platinum. Bands, bands, bands.
Bands.
Like what?
Yeah.
What?
I do not envy that kind of success. I
Yeah.
don't. It's kind of crazy
It.
because
Yeah.
they feel so successful doing that,
I'm sure they do.
and then they lie
I'm
awake
sure
at
they
night
do.
wondering why they have to take so many drugs to just feel okay. And like, that's an existence.
Not even
But
okay.
I want to.
Not
I
even.
just
Okay.
Just.
It's
just
all about like
survival.
numbing that pain.
numbing the pain. Yeah,
Survive.
That
maybe
down
never
farther,
even
farther,
feeling
farther.
okay. It's like, why do I feel like this? I have all the money and the cars and the pussy. Like, what am I doing? And like, dude,
What am I doing?
it's
What do you do?
What do you do
Very
now? I have
simple.
made it. What do I do?
I have made it. What do I do?
'Cause it's the
you can-
intention and the
you can-
message.
Instantly turn it around by just switching your perspectives and your intentions, and just follow. I'm getting the tattoo. I don't know how I'm gonna design it yet, but somehow, because it's a very good thing to remember, is just all you have to do is follow truth. And when it's too subjective to follow truth, you err on the side of compassion. So you got two arrows. You follow truth, and then when that doesn't work, you just err on the side of compassion, and that's the only two needles on the compass that you need, and you'll always find the right direction. Just truth and compassion,
I mean, I don't know
and that's
too much
just
about.
how I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that saying too. I don't know too much about the baby or what his message is or what he's doing. I just
We're
know.
at the very surface
Not much.
level.
I already explained it earlier.
Yeah, I mean a
Basically,
lot of artists like that though.
Yeah.
Like their main message is just saying that you can get where I am right now. Like, cause like it's the whole getting out of the hood thing. Like you can grow up.
Mhm.
It's like the American dream. Like you can get out of the poor and make lots of money, and then you're successful.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because I mean, there's nothing wrong with being unhappy, but I think we all want to be happy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So it's better to follow the happiness route than sadness
I'm sure-
route. But,
but-
hey, if you want to
yeah.
just make tons of money and not be happy,
I feel like in his mind, he's working to getting the money, and then he's using the money for the things that he wants to then
Yeah.
feel happy about.
Because-
I'm sure he gives some money back to the community. I
oh
hope.
yeah, and I'm sure that's when he feels the best.
And that's when he
Maybe.
feels the best,
I mean,
right?
I don't
And that's-
know.
Huh?
I said, are we sure about that?
No.
Yeah, I don't.
That's why I said I don't know. I don't know, but I just know.
I
that's
haven't heard
what a
anything
lot of-
about the baby's charity work.
No.
Have you?
No.
No.
But I just know.
I know he's from North Carolina.
Yeah, I
I
hope.
know he doesn't spend a lot of time there.
Probably not.
Yeah, but I can imagine. But I don't know. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah. But just as art, just similar
It
artists.
feels
as
like
him.
things will get you where you, like, oh, if I could have this car and this house, like, that would feel so good. And it will for maybe at max like 10 days. And then it's
Yeah.
just back to the same old thing, and then you got to buy more. So that
Yeah.
route is just consumption. because it's a very temporary. I would call it temporary happiness. Well, you're actually looking for joy
It's fulfillment.
through fulfillment.
Jeez.
Exactly.
Because I mean I saw this 6ix9ine quote where he was like, I'm very
Okay.
yeah, oh boy is right. Like we go from the baby to 6ix9ine. Like 6ix9ine was like, I'm super unhappy. Like I thought that money was what I wanted, but it's not. And so then he goes back to his community and gives money to his community, and that makes him happy. But yeah, it doesn't. It's not. It's like, it's just because fulfillment, you got little pieces at a time. It's not like, oh shit, I'm fulfilled. Like hell yeah, I went
No.
to fucking India and I meditated.
Fulfilled.
Now I'm fulfilled. It's
I
like,
am a
dude,
cup and I am full of water.
dude.
Yes. I took a cup and I filled it up, and then now what do with it? I
Yeah.
do whatever I want. Very nice.
I told Connor
Nice
this.
deal.
I was like, yeah, I'm not like, levitating with my fulfillment over here, but I do feel like I'm getting better at being a bottom feeder and enjoying my little bits of fulfillment I see every now and then. I'm improving at being appreciative of the little tiny little bits of fulfillment that I'm grabbing along the bottom. And that I think is much more important than just fucking waste or not waste. Maybe I mean pretty much just wasting like 30-40 years of your life and then getting a bunch of money and then throwing it
Could
out
be,
and
but
being
it's
like,
good for us.
I'm fulfilled now. I have money.
It's
Throw
something
it out.
like Connor said, it's a contrast. That's something that we can see and be like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what not to do. So I mean, maybe it's not a waste.
Yeah.
I mean, and at the end of the day, nothing is a waste because at the end of the day, it's all contributing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, on the cosmic level, it is completely harmonious.
Stardust. Going around,
Mhm.
doing what it's supposed to do, interacting
It's
with other
beautiful.
stardust.
Going at it.
Going at
Yeah, and
it.
that's what makes all the human level stuff just a little bit easier to deal with. Is just, and I don't know if I want to say believing or knowing or thinking or feeling that harmony is there, because I don't know if I believe it or I think it, feel it, or I know it.
Certainly feel it, and I think that contributes
Yeah.
to the thinking and the believing.
But the
Yeah,
You can think,
all
I
of
think
those
you can
things.
believe whatever the hell you want, and at the end of the day, that's pretty abstract and
but
intangible and
Yeah.
out there. But the feeling
Yeah.
is very. I love this word. I love the word visceral. The feeling is like the most visceral part.
I like the word visceral because the way it's
The way it rolls off the tongue is like
Visceral.
it's very visceral. The word visceral is visceral.
the word. It is. It gets your whole mouth involved.
Exactly.
But I think
it's a lot of, you could eject a lot of emotion out of that.
Yeah,
Mouthful.
it is very visceral. I feel on a visceral
you got a
level
big old mouth hole.
that
Yeah,
not
I
every day.
Thanks for pointing that out.
every
but-
day. You got a big mouth. My mouth is bigger than it looks, but I just have a
That's covered.
I
mustache.
got the fucking close
It
up
looks
on that.
really small right now because I got a freaking walrus stash going on.
But about the not wasting though,
But
it's like on a human level, in order to not waste these experiences that people are having, that we can
Yeah,
look back on.
it's a very simple
we
shift.
it's almost like a generational thing. Like as the young generation, we need to be aware and then learn from the past. Like you do yourself, you also
Mhm.
need to do with fucking all of the past, right? And all these people that, because we can, if you need to be consciously aware and take it in, and then put that into action. Also, as the final step is then put what you know into action, and that's the whole point. Is the now you're supposed to use the past and put into action to just be better.
Yeah, use the past.
Because
You were
Learn
almost
from-
gonna preach like a bunch there, and then you were just like, nah, just be better. Just be better.
yeah,
Be
I don't
better.
know. Yeah,
I feel that though.
but that's what it
Mhm.
is. It's like, otherwise, how are you gonna be happy with yourself unless you're trying to be better? Otherwise, you will.
I don't
feel
know
like shit.
any way that I've ever felt happy unless I was trying to be better.
And then,
And that's why you can be happy playing a video game. You can be getting better, but you feel so much like a giant slug when you're just doing the same thing over and over. That's why I don't take in a lot of media like television or movies. And there's nothing wrong with I want to make movies and stuff, unless I'm feeling not A1. If I'm feeling A1, I'm not really gonna be watching TV. It's so inactive unless I'm actively watching to try and pick out techniques or things, or like or unwinding. It's always nice to unwind and watch a movie and stuff too. But if I'm feeling A1, I don't feel the need. I don't. Nothing in me motivates me to watch TV.
It's like so that's something that I've noticed. So in this house that I've been living in this year, it's been very interesting. It's been like a little social experiment, actually. Large social experiment in my life, anyways. It's been curious and interesting and all kinds of things. And one of the things that has changed drastically over the course of, I don't know, the past 8 months is that we used to have a lot of movies, a lot of TV, a lot of stuff going all the time. And a lot of it was like, attention very, quickly and ephemerally going from this to this to this and bouncing around, no intention, blah, 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 just kind of, ping-ponging. And then it kind of moved a little bit more to like the analyzing and the paying, because that's what I like. I like to engage with stuff,
right?
Or you can engage with it by laughing, and you can engage with it by appreciating it.
Oh yeah, it's nice to let go sometimes.
Exactly. Or you can engage with it by analyzing it heavily, and those are like the two main ways that I feel like you can engage with things. At least from my perspective, especially with content, media content. Even books, right? You can be analyzing or you can be appreciating. And it's an interesting contrast because they're both, interesting and unique in their own ways. And you can be analyzing and appreciating at the same time. You can learn a lot by appreciating.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot by analyzing too, and then you can, appreciate it later and all that stuff. And, those are kind of like two sides of the same coin. But what I really disliked was when we had content just in the background as background noise. That I can't stand. Like, it's the same reason why I can't stand the nonstop side scrolling. Just shit. Just the shit stream. This shit flood, is what TikTok. That's a shit stream, right? That's a shit creek. But TikTok to me is a fucking shit tsunami. It's just so much and changing and moving and going and the blah blah shit just in your face. Just oh my god! I mean, and
it's not really like you're appreciating it or analyzing it. It's just a distraction from what's in front of you.
Exactly. It's like, what the shit? That's why I can't do that. I literally, the infinite scroll, such a turnoff for me. I mean, what the fuck is that? Like, oh, you're gonna try and grab my attention with the shit flood? Like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna pay attention to that. Yeah. Watch me pay attention to that. No, can't do it. No. No, this is why I take photos. I like photos. And, video's great, because you're in the moment and all this stuff, right? And it's wonderful, you're capturing all this, very, very interesting,
lots of photos with the audio.
Real feeling, content. But the photos, it's such a nice pace for me. It's just like, it's so still. It's nice,
Yeah.
And so that's something that now we've developed, or not developed, we've evolved into having the TV off. Incredible.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Revolution will not be televised. Like, there's a reason that like Scott Heron made that song. For real. This shit won't be televised. Like the media is not going to cover that, very real shit For whatever reason,
Yeah.
political, economic, whatever fucking reason it is, they're not going to cover it because it's not money grabbing. It's
Marketing.
not, the attention, suck the shit
Oh
vacuum.
yeah.
Like,
You're,
And it's strong.
what
Oh,
is
it'll
this?
get me. YouTube holes and Reddit and all that. Oh, it'll get me.
that's different, though. I feel like that's very, very different because
It can
you're
be.
choosing. Sure, you're being presented with a lot of things on the side, and you're being presented with stuff.
Oh yeah.
You're not controlling that, but you're choosing to follow it. You're choosing what to pay attention to, especially with Reddit and reading. That's very different. I go
Yeah,
on
it
many
can
rabbit
be.
holes. On the
Sometimes
web.
I still feel like it's just shit.
Yeah.
storm.
I can see that more on YouTube.
Yeah,
I have a
maybe not
harder
Reddit. Reddit's pretty active. Yeah,
That's the thing that gets
Um,
to me about art.
depends
like,
on a lot of things.
fair
yeah,
topic, especially and type of content. I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, there are spaces on Reddit that feel more like a shit scroll.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, most of the stuff that I read on Reddit, anyways, is like text. Text. With some photos.
Oh yeah. I learn a lot on Reddit.
Yeah.
Messages
Sometimes
with
I'm
an
just
intention,
distracting myself.
like things that don't have a pure message or an intention, is the shit. And that's the thing. Is like I just feel like there's so much art and so many artists that are just shit posting in order to grab the attention, and they don't have the intention to put a message in there, a pure message that they want to put out. Because that's what I feel like art is my way of, just anyone's way. There's a medium of getting
There you go.
that pure messages in your heart to other people, and you want to get that to as many people as possible, and you want to communicate something. And that's why it's just so beautiful. It's just this idea that you're an organism trying to communicate to other organisms this pure message you have that's helped you, or just is something that you are passionate about.
Doesn't have to be a complex message. Most of the time, my message in my art is just like, if anyone could get anything from it, it's just that you can do this. This is just something you can make. Like, I don't put a lot. Sometimes I will, but I don't put a lot of like messages in there, other than just the thing itself is the message. It's just like, this exists, and if you think it's cool, you can do it. Like, and it's just fun. The message is, I guess, just enjoyment. I guess, because I'm thinking about it, I don't put a lot of like message in there. I'm not like trying to. If I'm like drawing a picture of a Taigibratar, there's nothing in that Taigibratar that says like live valiantly. It's just interesting art to my eyes, and it's just fun to make, and putting it out there, that is my message. I think is just what, there's not a word for it. It just is what it is. That is the message. But it is also nice to have things with message too.
Well,
but I think
that
both,
is
I think both are
like,
valid.
Cause
Yeah.
Cause just I think one of the
For
most
me, that is-
important, one of the most important messages to give to anyone is that the impossible is possible. And I've said this many times, and the best way to do that is just to show someone something that they've never seen before, right? It's just
Yeah.
show someone, and the best way to
So
do
in that, you can find the merit into Baby. Maybe he showed some kid that it's possible
right.
to be shit at music and just make it. Like, it's possible. You don't have to be good at writing lyrics. You don't need to be a poet. Just put some words down. And if they go in with a pure intention, I just like putting words down because it feels good. If it comes out shit, whatever. That's what they feel. And it's good, I think. I don't... Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like I was thinking about my message. like put in like a moral, like at the end of the show. And remember, kids, what we learned today is sharing is good.
Well, you
Like I don't ever
have.
put in like a message like that, but my message is just my life. My life is my message. What I'm talking about, all this stuff that I'm talking about today,
Yeah.
that's my message. And I'm trying to get that out of here and into there.
And art is taking a piece of you and putting it out there, right? So
Yes.
you're trying to live by example, which is something that's really important.
Mhm.
Is that, and that helps a lot of people. Is the way you live has a very great
It helped me.
influence on the people around you, and the people, especially the people that
Yeah.
care about you, because they
Hard to
are more
understand it.
aware.
hmm
Like the people.
It is hard to understand, your own importance. I just looked at other people's importance.
It blows my mind like every time somebody talks about like me and their life, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like what? Like you
Yeah.
like that was influential to you? Like I can't like you can't control it. You're just
Yeah.
being you can't control what other people are perceiving you as. You can just
Yeah.
control you, right? So it's good to be as you and as
Yeah, just
compassionate
be true.
and wonderful, and true to yourself as you can. Because at the end of the day, like you got to be satisfied with that. Because what other people take from that is outside of you.
Yeah, you can't worry about it. But it is really cool. I've had people tell me that they're inspired by what I do, or they take. Yeah, yeah.
I'm inspired.
I've been really lucky in that. A lot of people have, and
It would be very difficult for me to do as much stuff as I do without seeing how much stuff you you do a lot of stuff, and that is very inspiring.
Very free, letting it. I mean, look at you with the bucket hat on. I don't have a bucket hat on top of my headset.
it's too much. I can't take it. It's hard to take. It's hard to take. It's hard to take compliments because I know. Because on the back of my head, I always know.
Because you don't want to become Charlie Sheen.
Damn. Yeah.
Just that.
That's
Yeah.
Well, that's there now. Now that you said it, that's there. It wasn't there before.
You don't want to become an ego monster.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm scared. That's
Yeah.
why it's hard for me to take compliments.
Ego monster.
I know I can become that. God, me at 5 years old, I was just a little ego monster.
Me at
That was
15.
Connor, I think we've all been there a little bit, but I know about
Oh, yeah.
Connor.
Oh, even beyond 5 years old.
Connor and his fucking antics.
Oh Lord, I wasn't even gonna mention this, but I was thinking about that. I was thinking about like because for me that period of time is pretty recent, and like I remember some of it, and some of it I guess I've blocked out, and it's really crazy. And I've talked to like some people that I was close with, during that time, and like the beginning of high school, basically. And for context for you, Cody. And I guess everyone else. But yeah, some of those people that I was close with then, and like they perceived that very differently in the moment. They didn't see me as such a bear, such a I don't know, failure would be a word, such a like, negative presence like that. And that's like more of what I perceive that as now. And that's me comparing that, to me now. And that really blew my mind, because I'm thinking to myself, whoa, I know what I was thinking. I know what I was like. I know what was coming out of my mouth, for some of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how could you perceive that as not so awful? Like, geez. I used to just think I was the best, and anything, I could do anything, and like it was just all easy, and everybody was stupid,
Yeah.
everything
I
else,
felt that.
and it's just like, oh, geez, like that really grinds my gears now. But that's in the past, and I'll get more to the point. What I was thinking of, because this was brought up to me by one of my friends, she was saying that she was thinking about old her, past self, in this life, and like I want to be very clear, and how like if she talked to that iteration of her now, like that past self would be like, oh wow, you suck, dumb bitch, like you like and
Yeah.
disappointed, and just be appalled. And it's interesting because I'm sure that if I went and could talk to that iteration of me, like I would get a lot of that same reaction.
Hmm.
And I would be calling myself such a dumb bitch. And like it's just crazy how much.
Oh yeah, it would not be a positive interaction.
Oh, it sure wouldn't. And even though I'm so much more like aware now, and I was so much more ignorant then, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and that awareness has brought me a lot more real joy rather than just like this superficial, sensationalist, you know, kind of uh interest.
Grasping.
Yeah, or just this, yeah, this grasping kind of yeah, interest, not like
Happiness, 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 but it's water. It just flows right through your hand.
curiosity, but it's all just, yeah, water or sand, just flowing away, trying to hold on to that, and be fulfilled permanently, hang on to that, oh, whatever. But no, it's all floating away in every moment.
All the river. That's why my favorite, if I were to worship anything or have a deity of any kind, it would be the river. Any river. Just a flowing body of water. Because it's taught me so much. River is just the greatest teacher. If you look at life and your thoughts and people and just everything through the framework of a river, it's so much easier. Because that's what it is. It's all flowing. It's gonna go. No way can you just have a section of the river. It's in flux. And that's what this is. That's what this is. It's a river.
And it's all
It's beautiful.
cyclical. It's all, going to be
Oh, it's a
going.
cycle. Water cycle, exactly.
Water
Oh
cycle is
yeah.
crazy too, because like all the water flows through that one point,
Oh
under
yeah.
Antarctica.
Hmm.
That's nutty. Very nutty.
Yeah, it's a very good.
Nutty.
It's my favorite analogy. That's why I would worship just, just the idea of a river, of the river, because yeah, I don't know. I think it's a complete analogy
Yeah.
because of that water cycle. The water gets evaporated, it goes, comes back around. It's a beautiful, yeah.
Diverse. You got snow, you got hail, you got sleet, you got,
Oh yeah,
you got clouds. I've always loved clouds, because it
clouds
encourages
are cool.
it encourages
Yeah.
you to look up during the day, you know.
God, I
Right.
love looking up.
Because I always when I was always looking down, like at my feet, just looking at everything by my feet, just trying not to step on things like the step on a crack, break your mother's back thing. Like, I don't know. I always avoided stepping on cracks. And
I did when I
I'm,
was young, for sure. Oh
I
yeah.
still do a little.
I stepped on all the cracks, dude.
Oh, of course you did.
That's what's funny about that. But looking up is so cool because yeah, you don't do it often. So when you do, it's that whole perspective thing. Like when I go in the woods and you look up, it's like a whole new
Oh, the canopy.
world.
Yeah, depends on the canopy a little bit, but there are some that are
Oh my
especially
god.
great.
Holy shit.
Don't be walking at the
balls.
same time. You will trip, and it will.
Yeah. That's what my dad always tells me when we're walking on. He's like, look around, look up. I'm like, dude, we're hiking. Like, I gotta look down. I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking die, dude. There's a cliff right there. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh
But it
yeah.
is awesome to stop.
He was like, oh yeah, I guess you gotta look down, but then look up, look down. I'm like, yeah.
That's
dude,
what
I
saved me
know.
during the COVID times. Going out to the swamp, looking up at the trees, watching the birds.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
So I'm
I
one
like
thing
'em.
I'm glad about this generation is we're getting more and more environmentally conscious and learning to
Appreciative,
appreciate
yeah.
nature because nature is fucking awesome.
We sure are.
Yeah.
Yeah.